Hello everyone, I'm your host Akuma. Welcome back to another episode of Morrowind. In our last episode, something happened. Something really bad happened. I discovered that we lost Azura's star. Permanently. It was gone from our inventory. We could not get it back. Somehow last weekend I had given it to Skink and Tree Shade because it had an Ashkull soul in it. He didn't want the Grand Soul Gems with the Ashkull soul in it. He wanted Azura's star. And we gave him Azura's star. Well, in between episodes, I got Azura's star back. Thank goodness. And I had to do a ton of quests, like 2 weekends worth, I think, to get it back. But we are finally back up to where we should be, or could be. Honestly, I think that our funds might be a little bit lower than before, and I am missing a few items that I couldn't find in my inventory between the save and load stuff. So we are missing out on some things. I didn't go to that cave where we got all of the Ashkulls before, so all the loot from there, never had it. Never existed. Well, it still exists, but it's somewhere else. And also, yes, at the end of last episode, we got something specific from Skink and Tree Shade. A letter from Okado we are supposed to deliver to Turbonius. Before we deliver it, let's take a look at what it says. To the esteemed Archmage Turbonius Artorius, Guildmaster of Vardenfell. Upon receiving this letter, you will step down from your post and grant the title of Archmage to Kevin. From this day forward, Kevin will handle all guild matters in Vardenfell. You may keep the title of Archmage, but you will retire from active participation in the affairs of the guild. In the Emperor's name, Okato. So, Turbonius is pretty much being outranked by the only person who outranks him as the head, the Emperor. The Emperor himself has directed me to become the new Archmage of the Mages Guild. Let's see if he takes this well. What? You have a letter for me? Well, hand it over. Interesting. This letter says that I am to make you the Archmage and retire. I do not know why Okada would lose his faith in me, but I will do as he asks. But I will watch over you, Kevin, and make sure you do not betray the high principles of the Mages Guild. We now both have the title of Archmage. You want to speak with me about advancement? Am I ready for the next rank, Archmage? Well, what? Are you ready for the next rank? What? Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Somebody's asking me for a higher rank. Wow, that's insane.
You seem like very good company.
So I delivered it to him, right? Well, duties? Duties, you say? Yes, there are several things that the Mages Guild needs done. Oh boy, this is one of his quests we never did do. Let's see. Find out about the disappearance of the dwarves. Yes, that's an excellent task for you, Archmage. Yeah! Find out what happened to the dwarves. That sounds like a great idea, doesn't it? My gosh. Well, I think that this quest might be slightly broken because I delivered the letter and now he's not really giving me the confirmation that I completed the quest. Is it in my... here we are. Mages Guild. Archmage! I'm the Archmage, I guess. Nothing else to do here. Well, that was simple. We're suddenly Archmage of the Mages Guild. Awesome! Totally awesome. What's in that chest? Something that I can't figure out. I wonder if I could pick the lock. Anyway, there are actually 2 ways to complete this quest. We did this the peaceful way. Get the letter and deliver it to him. The other way to do that is to talk to Edwina Elbert in the Aldrune Mages Guild, and we will be told to talk to Turbonius ourselves. Turbonius will challenge us to a duel to the death in the arena. Now the upside of this is that we get his equipment, but I will most likely never use his equipment, which I think might be Arene and definitely his staff. So yeah, never going to use that. And that's it. Mages Guild quests, all done now, unless we want to find out about the disappearance of the dwarves, in which case, let me know if you want to see that. But it will take a while to complete. Aside from that, there's nothing else we could do, so I did keep Kagranek's plan book, by the way. Note from the Archcanon and public notice. I think that the next thing we need to do is read the notes from the Archcanon. This is something that was delivered to us when we identified ourselves as Nerevarine and became Hortator of the First Great House. Let's see if we can figure out where we are looking for something in here. It was something that we read a long time ago, a very, very, very long time ago. In the event of the fulfillment of certain of those most remarkable and scarcely credible claims, namely that the claimant should at one time be the acknowledged holder of several ancient titles of power and authority of the Dunmer people, to wit, Hortator of the Great Houses and Nerevarine of the Ashlander tribes, the temple proposes that the claimant of the identity of the Nerevarine shall present himself for inspection before his Reverend Honor Archcanon Lord Tholar Saryani, High Archcanon, and Chancellor of Vivek, Archcanon and the Canonry of Vardenfell, etc., 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 blah blah blah. Because of the temple's official position on the prophecies of the Nerevarine, and in the interest of preserving the security of the claimant from those parties who might wish to do him harm, it is convenient that the claimant of the title shall present himself in secret to Archcanon Saryani in the Archcanon's private quarters in the High Fane of Vivek, to etc., 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 and a whole bunch of other official-looking stuff. So, a long time ago, to sum it Thank you. To sum it all up, we need to go present ourselves to the Archcanon of Vivek. Move aside, lady. As soon as we have gotten all the titles of Hortator and Nerevarine, which we have done. We have nothing else to do in the main quest. This is our only clue to moving on, so let's move on. Oh, joyous rain. Why did it have to be rain? Yep. The Archcanon of the High Fane of Vivek is in the southernmost part of Vivek, so we're going to take the gondolas to Vivek Temple, which is nowhere on this, but that's where we're going. And for 2 gold, that is now where we are. Wow, 2 gold. I really am getting better at my barter skills. Given should probably increase his mercantile a lot more. So we've got the Hall of Justice and Hall of Wisdom. But I'm not really looking for those. Why does it say Vivek St. Olms? Why did you load St. Olms when I'm in the temple? Whatever. You there. Danso. Quickly, did you want to meet the Archcanon? Yes, exactly, that's why I'm here. Would you like to like me more first, though, please? Please? Okay, that's much better. Meet the Archcanon. The Archcanon is in his private quarters, and he very much wishes to speak with you, but I am to warn you, avoid confrontations with the Ordinators at all costs. The Archcanon has spoken with the High Fane Ordinators, but you are a wanted criminal. They may try to arrest you. If the blood of faithful servants of the temple is spilled, it will make a reconciliation all that much more difficult. Avoid confrontations. There is a private back entrance to Saryani's private quarters. Perhaps you might also sneak past the Ordinators by stealth or magic. I certainly have some magic options. So, private quarters? The Archcanon is waiting alone to speak with you in his private quarters. They are in the southern half of the East Chapel of the High Fane, but there are Ordinators at the entrances to both the East and West Chapels. A door on the eastern canal side level leads through a smaller room and into Saryani's private quarters, but the door is always locked and the Ordinators control the keys. Ordinators are highly trained, and sneaking past them, even aided by magic, may be very difficult. But if you have any art in stealth or magic, you should use it to avoid trouble. Okay, thank you for the extra boost there. We do have a few things that we can use. Let's see, we've got the Amulet of Shadows, which is Chameleon 80%. Wow. And then the Ring of Aversion, which is Invisibility for 10 seconds. Both of these are great. However, Invisibility, the problem with this, is that if you interact with something, anything, then your invisibility spell wears off. On the other hand, Amulet of Shadows, that's a lot! Chameleon 80% is a lot. And it's for 60 seconds, and it will last while we're interacting with things, so I'm going to try to use this magic to help us out. I want Naughty is what I want. So where is this guy? A private back entrance on the canal side, she said. Hall of Justice, and oh boy. Where was it? Avoid confrontation. And okay, what about private entrance? Where's the private entrance? Let me double check all this stuff. Private back entrance. A door on the eastern canal side level leads through a smaller room. A door on the eastern canal side level. East is this way. Okay. It's much quieter in here when there's not thunder and lightning going on. There's the cannon offices. And cannon offices. Let's try these. Shoot. We've got Ordinators. More Ordinators. That's the route to the Hall of Wisdom. Hall of Wisdom. Not this way, I think. I'm practically unable to be seen, but I wonder if this is increasing my sneak skills at all. Hall Underworks? I'll keep that in mind and come back later. Nobody likes you. At least they aren't trying all to talk to me when I'm walking past them, so hooray for the silence. Hall of Justice? No. Come on. I may want to double back. High Fane, yeah. Okay. Whoa. Okay, got a little bit of stuttering there. I was afraid that the game was going to crash on me. Right when my chameleon spell wears off too. Saryani? Thank you for coming, Kevin. You know the temple's doctrines on the Nerevarine. Perhaps it is time to change that doctrine. Okay! Very good to meet you as well. Temple's doctrine. The temple must protect the people from false doctrines, and your association with Imperial intelligence makes your motivations and integrity suspect. But you have been chosen Hortator and Nerevarine by the Dunmer people, and we have reached a crisis with Dagoth-Ur. We can no longer defend the people against the awakened Sixth House. You and your prophecies may represent our last hope. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Our situation is desperate, but I would rather have you hear the details of our situation and the circumstances leading up to that situation from Lord Vivek himself. He has asked to see you. Would you agree to a private meeting with him and hear in person what he has to say? Yes, I will meet with Vivek. Good, here are 2 keys. One to the private back entrance to my quarters, which I have just picked. The other to a locked entrance to Lord Vivek's palace. I regret that at present, the Ordinators are not completely under my control, so for now I'll ask you to avoid confrontations with them. Lord Vivek is expecting you. His lordship is remarkably patient, but perhaps it would be better not to keep him waiting. I assume he has a, Thank you. I assume it would be safe to say that he has the patience of a god. Maybe wise to go into sneak mode to get past all these guys again, just to be safe. Goodbye. No. Come on. Yeah. They probably won't go nuts when they see me, but I'd really rather be safe than sorry. Alright, good. And now, we've been up here once or twice before, but now we've actually getting to go in. To the Palace of Vivek. And there he is. At long last. Lord Vivek himself. Some of you may be noticing he looks a little different compared to other Dunmer. Well, let me give you a little bit of an interesting fact here. The Dunmer did not always look like this. They used to be called the Chimer, and they would look like this. Well, I could go into detail, but there is a lot to go over, and certainly not enough time left in this episode. But basically, when the dwarves disappeared, the Chimer turned into the Dunmer at the same time. And Vivek, for some reason, is half Chimer, half Dunmer, which makes him look like a really awesome god. And nice touch, by the way, on the assorted armor, divided in half. That is very interesting. To my knowledge, there is only one other full Chimer in the game. And, well, I won't get into that later. But we will get into that later, but certainly not now. For now, Vivek. I expected you. We have business, you and I. Oh, yes. Yes, we do. When I was young like you, I was very impatient, so I will keep our business short. Then later, there may be time for other things. First, I propose to remove my curse upon the Nerevarine and the persecution of the dissident priests, and proclaim to all Morrowind that Kevin is the incarnate and Nerevarine, the prophesied savior of Morrowind, and the last hope to withstand the menace of Dagoth-Ur and the Sixth House. These things I will do, whether you wish or not. Thank you. Next, I propose to surrender to you the power and responsibility of defeating Dagoth-Ur. You may choose to refuse. I will not compel you. You will receive the power as a gift, in the form of an artifact called Wraithguard. You may accept the gift, then do with it as you will. You will receive the responsibility as an oath. You may give your oath, then keep it or break it as you like. First, will you accept Wraithguard as a gift? Yes, I accept. No, I refuse. Maybe. It depends. I would like to say that just to see what he says, but we're dealing with godhood here. So, it may be more polite to accept Wraithguard. Good. Sensible of you. And now, will you give your oath before all gods and men, before all spirits visible and invisible, before my honor and your honor, to dedicate yourself and Wraithguard to the defeat and destruction of Dagoth-Ur and the preservation of Morrowind and its people? I see no problems with that. Yes, I so swear. Not very sensible, but very good. I was hoping for someone who would have no hesitations about making such an oath. You will now have a brief, momentary sensation of time passing. Don't be alarmed. You are being taken out of time in order to avoid the unpleasant experience of learning how to use Wraithguard. It will be over before... There's a brief sensation of motion in total darkness, floating but without a sense of weight or direction. You know it. Thank you. Now, I will notify the temple that you are our champion. There shall be no more persecution of the dissident priests, and I hope both sides shall swiftly be reconciled. We have time for questions, if you like, or you may leave as you wish, but I think there are at least 2 things you ought to know before you leave: how to use Wraithguard, and how to defeat Dagoth-Ur. We're really moving into the last stages of the main quest here. Yikes. Council, Dagoth-Ur, defeat Dagoth-Ur, and Red Mountain. Where to start? Red Mountain was open to us when we started this up, so what can you tell us about Red Mountain? In my library, I have made available 2 conflicting accounts, interesting, of the events of Red Mountain. My own true account and another false account common among the Ashlanders and preserved in the Apocrypha. I don't care whether you believe my account or not, I leave it up to you to judge which is true. Okay. And your counsel? You need to... Oh my gosh! You need to know, where is Dagoth-Ur? I assume in Dagoth-Ur. I think that's a bit of a spoiler that we saw last episode. What are Dagoth-Ur's plans? Who are Dagoth-Ur's servants? Who is Dagoth-Ur? What are Dagoth-Ur's powers? What is known about Dagoth-Ur's defenses? How can I prepare for battle against Dagoth-Ur? And who can help? Yowza! Okay. Yikes. Okay. Who is Dagoth-Ur? Dagoth-Ur is the former Lord High Counselor of House Dagoth. He was of Lord Nerevar's generation, older than we are, and a mighty sorcerer and enchanted in life. In his sustained shadow immortality, he appears to be a highly intelligent, severely deluded immortal monster with unparalleled supernatural abilities. He appears by turns lucid and deranged, compassionate and bestial, profoundly wise and profoundly distorted. In short, he is a mad god. Sounds like Sheogorath. I wonder what the difference is. I really do wonder what the difference is. Anyway, what can you tell me about his defenses? Confer with the Ordinators and Buoyant Armigers garrisoning Ghostgate for the latest information about the defenses of the citadels of Dagoth-Ur and his Heartwhite kin. That's a very good idea. I mean, you're stuck down here in Vivek, so I was a little curious, but that is a very good idea. What are his plans? We know nothing for sure, but we have learned much from interrogating 6th House cultists and victims of dream compulsions, and from our study of Dagoth-Ur's actions. The Temple Scholars and Inquisitors have prepared a document, Dagoth-Ur's Plans, that summarizes what we know or suspect. Take my copy. It's also available in my library. And what are his powers? He is able to send his mind into the dreams of susceptible victims across vast distances. The victims are either swayed by his compulsions or driven mad. He also seems nearly invulnerable to physical and magical harm. His flesh and the flesh of his followers evolves toward a mutable magical form. Dagoth-Ur and the highest ranks can control the distorted manifestations of their flesh. Lower ranks lose control of their bodies and become mindless corporous monsters. Ew. Chief among his servants are his 7 brothers, the Ash Vampires. We've killed a few of those. Powerful Heartwhites and cunning sorcerers of old. These creatures appear to die, but are always revived at the heart. Somehow Dagoth-Ur has conferred some portion of his immortality upon them, or perhaps they sustain themselves through more conventional sorcery. Wonder if necromancy is involved, although the heart does seem more likely. Oh boy, some of the good stuff next. Where is he? Dagoth has never ventured out of the Heart Chamber, the place under Red Mountain where the heart of Lorkhan lies. It is there, or nearby, that he is constructing a new god, Akula Khan, also known as Second Numidium. Oh boy. I've read up on some of that stuff just recently. Interesting things. I can't get into it. If you're interested, I think I'll be putting a link to a whole bunch of things down in the description, so check that out if I remember to link to things. Who can help? Ordinators and buoyant armigers stationed at Ghost Gate have the most practical knowledge of the nightmare world inside Ghost Fence. Seek them in my name for counsel and aid. Okay. Prepare for battle. Prepare for war. Beyond the Ghost Fence there are no safe places, no allies. Stockpile resources, plan for retreat and replenishment. Quest for artifacts of power. I've got artifacts of power! Oh my gosh, do I ever! I want your trust and willing cooperation, so I've had the priest make copies of a number of documents. They're here for you to read or take with you. Take a look at them, help yourself. Thank you. And now for the big one. How do I defeat Dagoth? To defeat Dagoth, go to Red Mountain to recover the artifact hammer Sunder from Gate Citadel the Mainel. Then recover the artifact blade Keening from Gate Citadel Odrosal. Then proceed with Wraithguard, Sunder, and Keening to the Citadel of Dagoth. Within the Citadel, find the Heart of Lorkhan. Use the 3 artifacts to sever Dagoth connection to the Heart, and he will be destroyed, and the Blight ended on Morrowind. Wow, that simple? To destroy Dagoth you must sever his connection with the Heart of Lorkhan. To do this, strike the Heart with the artifact hammer Sunder once. Then strike the Heart more than once with the artifact blade Keening. You must wear Wraithguard, because you cannot handle either Sunder or Keening unless you are wearing Wraithguard. That is the short, simple explanation. Simple is good. Here is the long, detailed explanation written down for your convenience. Read it, study it, commit it to memory. Plan to defeat Dagoth has been added to your inventory. Nothing else opened? Actually, I believe we finished our business. I will notify the temple that you are our champion. There shall be no more persecution of the dissident priests, and I hope both sides shall swiftly be reconciled. Now you are my guest, I am your host, and we have time for explanations, or counsel, or questions, or bitter recriminations if you like. Or you may leave if you wish. As you wish. But I think before you leave you should hear how to defeat Dagoth and how you must use the artifact Wraithguard. Well, I've gotten through most of that, not much left. So we've got explanations, questions, and bitter recriminations. Well, let's do it in alphabetical order. You want to chide me. Why did I murder Nerevar? Why did I break my oath to Azura not to use Kagranek's tools? Why did I cause others to suffer? Good questions. Why did you break your oath? Along with Lord Nerevar, and at his insistence, Almalexia, Sothasil, and I swore before a god of oaths at the time, the Daedra Lord Azura, never to employ the tools of Kagranek for any purpose. We broke our oaths. We turned our backs on the old gods. I still see no compelling reason to worship any of the Aedra or Daedra, but for the respect I held for Nerevar and the respect I held for myself, I should never have betrayed my oath. Of all my life's actions, I most regret that failure. Why did you cause others to suffer? I respect that question, and you for it. The most I can say is, I did the best I could as I saw things. Can you, mortal, presume to judge the actions and motives of a god? But because I need you, and you need me, I will make an accounting for my sins to you, but not now. Destroy Dagoth and then we will discuss my sins. Then perhaps you will have earned the right to judge me. Okay. So we'll come back and talk to him after the main quest is done. At some point. What about explanations? You want to know why did I wage... Oh my gosh, he's giving us so much to talk about! Why did I wage war on the Nerevarine? Why did I try to suppress the Apocrypha? Why did I persecute the dissident priests? Why is Dagoth winning the war? How does the Tribunal fight Dagoth and what are Wraithguard's powers? Once again, let's do this in alphabetical order. Dagoth winning. Dagoth is winning because he is close to the source of power, Lorkhan's heart, and because he retains the passion of madness while we have settled into the lonely and unrewarding posture of dogged dutifulness and perseverance. And finally, perhaps because he is stronger and smarter than we are, and his followers are more fervent and fanatical. I believe we were careless and complacent and outwitted, and in the matter of denying the Nerevarine, we were foolish. Now why did you murder Nerevar? We did not murder Nerevar. The legend that we murdered Nerevar comes from a story told by a shield companion to Nerevar, Alandril Sul, who lived among the Ashlanders. The Ashlanders have retained Alandril Sul's account as part of their oral histories. The account is persuasive in some details, implausible in others, and is in any case false. I have 2 accounts of Nerevar's death here in my library. Read them and judge for yourself. I'll do that. Persecute the dissident priest. Suppression and persecution of dissident is just one of the standard tools of statecraft. Of what? Never heard that word before. I believe we erred in trusting the judgment of Beryl Sala. He and his ordinators served valiantly in the war against Dagoth-Ur. We mistook his misplaced zeal for energy and dedication. Mistakes were made, but no more. There shall be no more persecution of the dissident priests, and I hope both sides shall swiftly be reconciled. Thank you. Prepare for battle. We heard that before. Questions? You are curious about things. Oh my gosh. Okay, I think this episode is going to go for a very long time if I look at every single thing he has. I've gone through all those I'm willing to go through, and it looks like there's going to be a lot more. And I think there's some more stuff below here, aren't there? Maybe, maybe not. Okay, so I think I've opened up all of the topics. I'll go through all of those that I haven't gone through yet, and I'll let you guys read through them on your own if you wish to know more of the answers that Vivek has. So, we've done cause others to suffer, defenses, plans, powers, servants, defeat him, Dwemer's sin. Oh, that should be interesting, especially if you're most interested in the Dwemer. Explanations? Yeah, we've heard that before. People of Morrowind. Remember being mortal. Suppress the Apocrypha. The Dwemer. To be a god. Tribunal fight Dagoth-Ur. War on the Nerevarine. Wraithguard's powers. And that's it. Vivek has given us all the answers he has for us. Well, almost all the answers. This is his library back here. Not a whole lot to look at, but there are 4 pages. Okay. Well, here's what we've got so far. The plan to defeat Dagoth-Ur, the Battle of Red Mountain, Dagoth-Ur's plans, and Nerevar at Red Mountain. I have some of these in my inventory that he gave me, but I'm not going to read them on screen. If you guys would really like to see what Vivek has for us to say, once again, links will be in the description below. You can click on them and get more detailed information on what he has to tell us about Dagoth-Ur. Now, what's our journal say to sum it up? A lot. Well, 2 pages, I guess. Number 366 and 367. This is a thick book. Oh my word. Well, he's given us some stuff to look at, and that is going to be it for this episode. We met Vivek, finally, and now have a plan to defeat Dagoth-Ur once and for all. Get rid of the Blightstorms. That's my biggest motivation to finishing up the main quest, is get rid of the Blightstorms surrounding Red Mountain. That will be most wonderful. And maybe we should go back and talk to the Urshalaku tribe when we're all done, too. That might be interesting. Also, I need to pick up one of those Propylon indexes from Nibani Mesa that she's got in her hut. I never did that. Anyway, that's going to be the end of today's episode. If you guys did enjoy the episode, let me know, because there was quite a lot to go through. I'm not sure if some of these, well, talking episodes are enjoyable for everybody. Remember that links are down below for anything you might want to see. If there's something you would like to see in next episode, let me know in the comments below. If you've got any questions about any of this stuff, maybe because you didn't want to read anything either, let me know that too, and I'll try to answer them as best I am able to. But for now, thank you everybody for joining me for today's episode of Morrowind. Come back next time, let me know what you want, and we will see you next weekend. Take care.